All right, all right, all right. We are live. Welcome back to the WMMA Scene Report, episode number 30. That's right, we've made it to 30. What we always do, we're going to go over the latest fight results. Going to go over the latest news. Then we're going to go over the rankings updates that I just started doing last week. A segment I like to call the fuckery. Then we're going to go over welcome to the scene, welcome some of the newest subscribers, and we'll talk the upcoming fights. And then finally, we got a special discussion topic tonight about the headline event from UFC Fight Night Sacramento, Jermaine Durandamy versus Aspen Ladd. I want to talk about some things that I thought went wrong with it besides the stoppage. You know, whether you can argue that the stoppage was early or not, I think that there are just things that wrong about that fight in general that never got addressed or haven't been addressed yet. And I want to go over them. So first off, we'll go over the previous week's fights. So first up, Thursday night, PFL regular season, 2019 regular season, number 4. First up at 155 pounds, all the ladies' fights on this one were 155. Jenna Fabian defeated Moriel Charneski due to TKO from punches at 1 minute and 42 seconds, round 1 of 3. A very fast fight. Just recorded my review for it earlier. It will be published later, but Fabian landed a hard left that dropped Charneski, and she was never really able to recover from it. PCBH in the chat says, "Hey, what's up?" Next up, very next fight, Larissa Pacheco defeated Bobby Joe DL via submission due to armbar at 2 minutes 31 seconds, round 1 of 3. This was another fast one, and it was just really domination by Pacheco. So she's moving on to the playoffs as well. And then finally, Kayla Harrison defeated Morgan Fryer due to submission via key lock at, I don't have the correct time on that one. Tapology messed that one up. Anyway, moving along to Friday morning. One championship, Masters of Destiny. First fight was at 115 pounds. Bozena Antoniar defeated B. Nguyen via split decision. That one has caused a lot of controversy online. I haven't watched it again yet. First viewing, I thought that B. Nguyen was going to take it, but I thought it was also a very close fight. So as soon as I get a chance, I'm going to rewatch it and do a proper review on it. Hopefully that'll be done before the end of the night. Next up, actually there's 2 other. Okay, next up, 115 pounds. Jean Radzwan defeated Jo Marie Torres via submission due to triangle choke, 3 minutes 7 seconds of round 1. Torres was in the guard of Radzwan, and Radzwan kept going for submissions, and Torres kept trying to slam her way out of him. I think after the second slam, I said, you know, she's about to slam her way straight into a triangle choke. She did it. That's like Torres' 3rd loss, or 4th loss now, after starting out 4-0. She's got to go back to the drawing board or something. I don't know what. Jean Radzwan comes back after her first loss. She climbs to 5-1. And then finally, at 125 pounds, Michelle Nicolini defeated Angela Lee via unanimous decision. That was another good fight, too. Very grappling heavy fight, very little stand-up, mostly controlled by Michelle Nicolini. Had mount on Angela Lee several times. I thought she deserved a decision myself. Again, some people argued that she didn't. I did a full review on it. If you want, you can go check that out. PCBH says, I got to watch the Angela Lee fight. She's one of my favorite fighters. If you're in the U.S., I think you have to use the BR Live app, the Bleacher Report Live app to watch it. If you're outside the U.S. or you have a VPN, it's already up on YouTube by itself. So if you're in the UK, you should be able to watch it. It should be up on YouTube already on One Championship's official YouTube page. Friday night, Bellator 224, Bud versus Ruben. Some of these fights I didn't get to watch. I was at a festival all weekend. Arlene Blencowe defeated Amanda Bell via TKO due to punches at 22 seconds, round 1 of 3. I did watch this. That was fast. Very nice performance by Blencowe. Sucks for Bell. Blencowe climbs to 12-7. Bell fell to 6-6. Next up, I did not get to watch this one, or at least not all of it. I caught the very end of it. Leslie Smith defeated Sinead Kavanagh at 145 pounds via majority decision. Smith climbs to 11-7. Kavanagh fell to 5-4. I heard it was basically everything I expected it to be, which was a brawl. Next up at 125 pounds, Juliana Velasquez defeated Christina Williams via TKO due to punches at 4 minutes, 3 seconds, round 2. Masterful performance put on by Juliana Velasquez. She outstruck the striker. Velasquez climbed to 9-0. Williams fell to 3-2. I'll tell you what, if they don't give Velasquez the next title shot, I'm just going to give Bellator hell for it. And then finally on that card, there's 2 more fights, but main event, Julia Budd defeated Olga Rubin, successfully defending her title via TKO due to body kick and punches at 2 minutes, 14 seconds, round 1 of 3. Again, great performance put on by Budd. I think she's finally becoming an exciting fighter. I certainly hope so. Very good job by her. Budd climbs to 13-2. Rubin falls to 6-1. And then the last women's fight of the evening was Postlim. It was on DAZN after the fight main event. Bruna Ellen defeated Alina Calianado via unanimous decision. I didn't get to watch this one. I was incapacitated by that time, we'll say. And then on Saturday, we had UFC on ESPN Plus, number 13, a.k.a. UFC Fight Night Sacramento. Few fights here. Brianna Van Buren defeated Livia Hanata Souza at 115 pounds via unanimous decision. I watched this fight off and on. I thought it was a very good fight by Van Buren. She did very well, coming in on somewhat late notice, taking on a crafty veteran. Battle of 2 Invicta FC, former Invicta FC champions, I should say. So congrats to Van Buren on a successful UFC debut. Next up, Juliana Pena defeated Nika Montano via unanimous decision. I was busy. I couldn't watch this fight at the time. Is that it? Just 3? Yep. And then finally, Jermaine Durandamy defeated Aspen Ladd via TKO at 16 seconds of round 1 in the main event at 135 pounds. I already did my review on that. You can watch that. What I thought about it, I thought it was a good stoppage. Apparently other people didn't. A lot of people didn't. Some people did. Big disagreement there. Whatever. But we're going to talk more in depth about, a little bit more about that favorite fight later on. And then finally, Monday, Shudo 30th Anniversary Tour, 6th round in Tokyo at 106 pounds, looks like. Mina Karobi stopped her losing streak, or skid, 2-fight skid. Came in, defeated Yeji Lee via submission due to rear naked choke. 4 minutes, 48 seconds of round 2. Karobi climbed to 13-5. Lee fell to 3-6. She is now on, I believe, a 4-fight losing streak, unfortunately for her. I kind of figured she would lose. Didn't get to watch the fight. Unfortunately, can't find it yet. Hopefully, it gets put up later. But yeah, I kind of knew Lee was going to lose. Karobi was way too experienced, stronger fighter, better wrestler, and everything. So that was no surprise. Anyway, I had Deep Jewels up. So we're going to get to the news here in just a second. Got to bring up the fight card for the first piece of news. So the first piece of news. All right, Deep Jewels has revealed the lineup for its 25th event, scheduled for Sunday, September 1st at Shinjuku Face in Tokyo. Let's go ahead and take a quick read up of the card here. We'll make it fast. First up is a kickboxing bout between Izumi Noguchi versus Pan Hui at 112. Next up is I believe they're calling it a minimum weight or micro weight fight at 97 pounds. Momoko Yamazaki 1-1, taking on Mizuki Oshiro at 0-1. Next up is atom weight, 105 pounds. Hikaru Ono 4-2 is taking on Mayuki Furusawa 1-2. That's probably going to be a gimme fight for Ono. Next up at 112 pounds, Nanaka Kawamura is taking at 2-4 is taking on Otoha Nagao at 1-0. I don't know why Kawamura is fighting that heavy, but whatever. I mean, she's a true atom weight. Next up at featherweight, a rare featherweight fight in Deep Jewels. Mayumi Oki, 6-9, is taking on Mao Ueda, 0-1. And then finally, at 125 pounds for the main event, Shizuka Sugiyama, 17-6-1, is taking on Asami Akaringo Nakai at 3-1. So, I mean, it's a typical Deep Jewels card, nothing special. We'll see if it happens. If I get a chance to, I might do a fight companion. I haven't done one of those in a while. Stuff never works out for him anymore, it seems like. But Ryzen's coming up, might be able to do one for that. Okay, next up in the news, Pancrase has announced a strawweight mini tournament to crown a new strawweight queen. The semifinals will take place at Pancrase 308 on 29 September. The first match will be Emi Fujino 23-11 versus Nori Date 3-3. Next, I guess the next other fight will be announced soon. What's up?
Your mom's going to call you in a little while.
Okay. Next up, Invicta veterans Amanda Cooper 3-5 versus Jamie Milanowski 3-3 is set for Lights Out Championship 5. That's going to be September 7th in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and that'll be at 125 pounds. At 115 pounds, Yunha Hong 2-4 versus Kyorin Kim 1-1 is set for Road FC 55. That takes place Sunday, September 8th in Daegu, South Korea. And then finally in the news, this was announced just a little while ago via MMA Junkie. Amanda Cooper has signed with Invicta FC and will debut with them in September at Phoenix Rising 2 at 125 pounds. So apparently Cooper signed with them before she got the opportunity with Lights Out Championship, and she's going to debut at 125 pounds for the second Phoenix Rising one-night tournament.
Are you going to be on there very much longer?
No.
Okay. You need to open the door for me so I can get the wooden stuff back in place.
Okay. Sorry for that. Next up, we're going to move on to the UFC Rankings update, which I had up earlier. Okay, some fairly big changes at strawweight. Nothing changed this week, but at 125, they removed Joanna Jędrzejczyk from the flyweight rankings. As a result of that, there was a lot of moves. Joanne Calderwood moved up one spot from 5 to 4. Modafferi moved up from 6 to 5. For some reason, Jennifer Maya moved up 3 spots to number 6. Lauren Murphy moved up from 10 to 9. Mara Romero Barella moved up from 12 to 10, 2 spots. I'm telling you, it's because she has a fight coming up, or she has a fight scheduled. There's no reason for her to move up 2 spots over Montana. De La Rosa stayed the same. Barbara moved up 1 spot. Van Zant moved up 1 spot. Poliana Battaglia moved up 1 spot. And Antonina Shevchenko joins the rankings at number 15. At 135, let's see. Juliana Pena is back in the rankings. She was previously not rated. She's back up to number 4, which meant just about everybody else moved down. Ladd from 4 to 5. Pennington, Zingano, Kunitskaya, Reynaud, Aldana, Sarah McMahon, Macy Chason, Lena Landsberg all moved down 1 spot. Sajara Eubanks is where she was at number 14. Viviana Araujo is now on the rankings at number 15. And that was because Tanya Evinger got removed. So Pena got added back. Evinger got removed from the rankings. But that is the latest edition of what I like to call the fuckery, the rankings update. Anyway, we're going to move on to the next segment I like to call Welcome to the Scene. Welcome some of the newest subscribers here. We have Kenneth Juan, Andy Chan, and Nunli Mon. So welcome to the scene, guys. And then finally, before we get into the discussion topic, we have 2 events featuring ladies fights that I found so far this weekend. First up, Lux Fight number 5 has a either 115 or 125 pound fight between Judith Villagran, 1-1. She's taking on Monique Romero, 2-1. And then we have UFC Fight Night San Antonio. First up, we have Roxanne Modafferi versus Jennifer Maia at flyweight. And this is a rematch from an Invicta title fight a few years back. Modafferi is coming in 23-15. Maia's coming in 16-5-1. I hate to pick against Roxy, but I'm going to go with Maia on this one. I think it's going to be very much a repeat of their first fight, which was actually close. I think it was a split decision. But I think it's going to go to decision again. I think Maia will edge her out again. But I'm not going to count Roxy out. And then the other ladies' bout could mean big things at 135 pounds. Raquel Pennington's coming in 9-7, taking on Irene Aldana 10-4. So Aldana's been on a bit of a surge lately. She started out 0-2, I think, in the UFC. Now she's I think she's on a 3-fight streak, whereas Pennington is on a 2-fight skid. She had that arm surgery or shoulder surgery. Then she took on, then she got hurt in an ATV accident where she hurt her leg real bad. And then she came back right away after almost a year or more layoff. I think 1.5 years to 2 years. Fought Nunes for the title right away. Nunes just destroyed her. I mean, just made her look, wow. It was a rough fight for her. And then she went out in the 5th round and got knocked out. And then she came back against GDR, and GDR just outclassed her in a stand-up as well. Aldana's not as good as either of those two in a stand-up, but I would say that she's a better stand-up fighter than Pennington. If I were Pennington, I'd try to take this to the ground. As it is, I got to put aside my being a fan of Aldana, but I still am going to pick her. I just think that she's on a rise. I think she has to perform a lot better than she did against Bethe Correia. And she did good in the 1st round, not so good in the 2nd and 3rd. And then she managed to snatch that armbar in the 3rd round. But she's got to do a lot better than that against Pennington. But I'm going to go with Irene Aldana in that one. All right, so that's the upcoming fight. So I want to talk about the main event from this past weekend, Ladd versus Darren Dami. And I want to talk about the failures more on the part of the UFC than on the referee. I'm done talking about that. I already made my case for the stoppage. But I want to talk about, everything that went wrong in that fight. I heard the ticket sales weren't all that great, and I heard that the ratings weren't all that great. I haven't seen the numbers yet, but I heard they weren't all that great. And I think that the UFC failed really badly regarding this main event. Okay, so they had a main event I think the matchmaking. Well, first of all, let's talk about the matchmaking. This was super risky matchmaking, putting Ladd up against Darren Domi. Now, maybe they thought Ladd would be able to get the takedowns and dominate her from there. It seemed like they wanted to favor Aspen Ladd in this fight. But they didn't really take into account that Darren Domi is an absolutely world-class striker. Okay, Ladd is not world-class, and I would say she's not world-class in anything. But Darren Domi is a world-class striker that had a significant height and reach advantage. I don't think the matchmakers took that into account if they were hoping for a Ladd win. I don't know. Anyway, even bigger, I think, was a failure on the part of promoting this fight, okay? You had Darren Domi, who hadn't fought in like a year or more. Her last fight was against Raquel Pennington. And that was a good win for her. She, straight up outclassed Pennington. But she hasn't fought in a year or more. And then you put her in a main event, and she's a disliked fighter. She's probably the most disliked female fighter in the UFC right now. Mostly due to the late blows on Holly and straight up giving up her belt rather than fighting Cyborg. She stated her purposes for it. No one wanted to hear that. Basically, everybody said she was just outright ducky. Whatever. So you stick her in a main event, a totally disliked fighter, against a fighter that you're trying to push, but you haven't really been pushing yet. Ladd had never even been off the prelims before tonight, and you put her in a main event. She hadn't even headlined a prelims card, okay? She wasn't even a prelims headliner before Saturday night, and they put her in a main event. That is a failure on the part of the promoter to build this fighter up into main event status. You don't go from a prelims fighter to a main event. You build them up. You put them on a headline of the prelim, or you put them on a main card. And then if they do well, then you put them in the main event. So there was no real buzz for this fight other than people saying, wow, I can't believe this is the main event fight. And then Dana White and Aspen Ladd both going, then don't watch fuckwit or numbnuts or whatever they called people. Their response was, well, don't watch. Well, I haven't looked at the numbers yet, but from what I'm hearing, people didn't watch. And then you had Ladd getting destroyed, beaten in 16 seconds. It was just a failure of a main event all around, and it rests solely at the feet of the UFC. I mean, what more is there to say? It was bad matchmaking, bad promotion, no build up to this fight. None whatsoever. It was like, I mean, honestly, they would have been done better having Faber main event in his comeback fight, even though he hadn't fought in 3 years, and certainly, I think he was coming off a win, but Faber hadn't fought in 3 years, so they didn't want him in the main event. But overall, I just think the UFC did both of those main eventers. Really, everybody that fought at that event Saturday night, I think the UFC did them a serious disservice. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. PCBH very active in the chat, so thank you for that. Thank you for the likes, guys. Appreciate that. Anyway, that's really all I have. Short show tonight. It's raining hard. We might get some water in my basement, so I got to go keep an eye on that. Anyway, let me know what you think about everything. If you're watching this on a replay, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Likes always appreciated. And what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA now, the best, fastest growing women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. There probably won't be a live stream next week. I'm going to be in Vegas all week, so don't look for too much activity from me since then. I will have all 3 PFL fight reviews from Thursday up within the next hour and a half to 2 hours, so keep an eye out for those. And going to work on a few more videos before the end of this week, so keep an eye out for those. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.